And with thousands of our forces still stationed overseas, many military families are watching the ramped up rhetoric from North Korea very closely.
It's something that all Arizona families should be talking about right now, because more military leaders say if we go to war, it is highly likely we'd have to bring back the draft. Nicole Kreitz has the story you will only see on 3TV.
Greetings from the President of the United States. Your friends and neighbors have selected you to represent them in the armed forces of the United States.
Jeff Mellinger was 19 when he got a letter.
The return address was the White House, Washington, D.C., and that was before zip codes.
That changed his life.
You are hereby ordered to report for induction no later than 0700 hours, 18 April 1972.
He left his job laying drywall to join Army Jump School. And instead of doing his time and getting out as fast as he could, he re-enlisted and joined the elite Army Rangers. He served nearly 40 years, rising in the ranks to retire as Command Sergeant Major in charge of Allied forces in Iraq.
I loved it, and I miss it every day. My knees and back may not, but I do.
He survived 27 roadside bombs in 34 months in Iraq and retired 6 years ago, the last enlisted draftee in continuous active duty.
39 years, 8 months, and 13 days.
So will he truly be the last?
Since the draft ended, is now the first time with what's happening in North Korea that you've considered it might be time to bring that back?
If something seriously happened on the Korean Peninsula, end of the day, you can only fly so many airplanes and launch missiles, and then what do you got to do? Somebody's still got to put their boots on the ground. Can the all-volunteer force do it? And stay in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria and the 32 other countries around the world that were doing humanitarian missions or whatever.
He said he'd support reinstating the draft if our military needs it, and that's not all.
You also seem pretty adamant that if we bring back the draft, it can't be just men 18 and over.
I think if you have a draft to do anything other than draft men and women, you are speaking with a forked tongue.
He served with the first female four-star general and says times have changed.
With the exception of the people who are serving now, America doesn't have any skin in any of the games we're playing.
With a skyrocketing budget for benefits and reenlistment bonuses and less than 1% of Americans serving in our all-volunteer military, Mellinger says a draft might eliminate a lot of public apathy. He says while current events often seem as if the worst to come is unfolding before us, history is the best perspective.
The draft is not a new thing. There were riots in this country over the draft during the Korean War. You could buy your way out in the Civil War. You could pay for one of your employees to take your place.
Mellinger says the way we fight wars today would get around a lot of the old exemptions.
And even people with physical problems can sit behind a keyboard these days, so maybe those deferments would change.
Considering the course his life took, how that draft letter he didn't ask for molded him into the leader he became, he says it's all about embracing your unseen potential.
This country is full of residents and some citizens, and the difference is citizens give back, residents just take.
Whatever unfolds, he hopes it will spark a conversation for people to be more involved, intentional, and appreciative.
You know, whatever it is, everybody ought to do something, because that gives you an appreciation for the things you have and the things you benefit from.
Nicole Kreitz, 3TV.
Certainly something to talk about. And in our history, there have been 4 drafts, all of them in the 20th century. It started with World War I when 2.8 million Americans were called to service. The largest draft, let's see, of course, was in World War II when 10 million Americans were drafted. And then in Korea, you have about 1.5 million Americans drafted. And of course, the Vietnam War when 8 million Americans were drafted.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Jumping down to verse 8. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time of war, and a time of peace. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakar, Kadash, Barakatah. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akhim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the 4 corners of the earth and making their body a living sacrifice for Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp, and the reason why I brought out the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1, also verse 8, is from this new segment you just watched, all right? where you have military officers, military leaders discussing of reinstating the draft in these United States, all right? Because we're living in a season and time of war and hate, all right? And America, all right, has been going out, all right, conquering and conquering, all right, spilling blood throughout the world, where here at home, all right, a lot of these, okay, American citizens, all right, or as this guy Jeff likes to call them, residents, they don't want to volunteer, all right, because a lot of people here see that the military isn't beneficial, man. They see all the lies and deceit that's coming out of America, and they're like, man, I ain't trying to join this military. So now look, now the numbers are low. According to this news segment, there's less than 1% active duty military personnel. All right. So what is that saying? All right. A draft has to be implemented. All right. The all voluntary service is not working, as they like to call it, all voluntary service. All right. So now there's discussions from military leaders, all right, military officials and political officials behind closed doors, all right, about reinstating a draft in these United States, because we live in a time of war, all right? We live in a time, okay, and season of hate, all right? Why? Let's jump up to 3. A time to kill and a time to heal, all right? This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 3. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build, right? Because it's a time to break down and it's a time to kill, all right? This is the times that we're living in. And what's the mean breaking down? America's breaking down, all right? So now the officials, the United States military officials and politicians and those, okay, leaders, all right, see America going down. They see that they don't have the numbers, all right, to try to prevent this, so they're going to have to reinstate a draft, all right? And these are the times that we're living in, all right? This is a season, all right, for everything, all right? So now let me get into a news article, all right, just to back up this news segment, all right, because we here at Great Millstone, we always go into the current events, all right, and we bring it out. We filter it through the scriptures, all right, because we're the prophets of, okay, for the nation of Israel, all right, whether you want to hear or forbear, all right. We are the leaders, okay, starting with the apostles of Great Millstone all the way down to us, the foot soldiers, all right, up for Israel here on earth today, all right, and we stay on our watch. So now let's go to this article. This is from military.com. This came out recently today, about a couple hours ago, and that's what put the spirit on me to do this video. And it was beautiful. I found that other news segment, all right, because it just goes hand in hand. All right. It says military.com. It says, this is the title: Should the United States reinstate the draft? Question mark. All right. So now it goes and breaks it down. All right. It says the United States ended its military draft in 1973, right, Vietnam era, after nearly 2.2 million men were conscripted during the Vietnam War era. More than 9 million served during that period, but the majority of those draftees were sent to Vietnam, okay? All right, and this from this news segment, all right, that guy Jeff said, hey, when that was happening, all right, riots broke out. People were fighting against the government. People were fleeing the country, all right, because they didn't want to participate in the war in Vietnam, all right? And that's what's coming today, man. There's going to be a lot of sedition in America, all right? Because there's going to be a lot of American residents, as the guy likes to call those residents, who don't want to be citizens, who don't want to, okay, serve their country, all right, who say, the hell with that. I ain't fighting your wars, your endless wars, all right? And that's why there's going to be all hell breaking out here, man. Consider this. It goes on, all right? We are 17 years into a, quote, war on terror, end quote. Wow, 17 years of the war on terror. All right, that goes to show you, man, that those that have been watching and paying attention to what's going on with the news and what this country is doing, they're like, yo, these wars are endless. All right, I'm not going to fight these wars, and I don't want my children to go fight in these wars. You don't think the parents are telling their children, hey, don't join the military, man. These wars are endless, all right? That's why the draft's coming in, all right? It's going to be, hey, we live in a time of war killing, man, all right? And if you're not a man of the Lord, all right, and if the Lord ain't putting a hedge around you, you're going to go fight in these wars, man, all right? Because, hey, draft's coming. Consider this. We are 17 years in a war on terror. That comes with a $5.6 trillion in rising price tag. Wow, $5.6 trillion, okay, has just been for fighting a war on terror. All right, that's where your money's going. That's where your hard-earned tax dollars are going. All right, you American sheep peon maggots. All right. Our military is currently engaged in an overwhelming number of overseas missions. Right, like that guy Jeff said. All right, we're involved in over 30-something countries. All right, whether it be humanitarian aid, that's a quote-unquote. All right. Then you're involved in Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, Sudan. All right. Libya. All right. Oh, I think it was Nigeria, one of those African states where 4 soldiers got killed. America is involved in all types of conflicts, man. The American military, including a growing number of natural disaster-related deployments. Right, natural disasters. Puerto Rico. All right. Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma. All right. Oh, Hawaii. Okay, what's going on there in Hawaii with that volcano? All right. The number of fatal human error incidents in the military has reached an unprecedented level. Our nation is 20 trillion in debt and climate. Right. 20 trillion debt, and that's a lie. It's actually 21 trillion. All right. So, America, you're debt-ridden. All right. You have stretched out your military so thin for all types of situations. Okay. And so what does that mean? A draft's coming. All right. It's going to happen. Okay. Why? Because we're in the cusp of World War III. All right. And your military officers and your military officials and your political officials and Donald Trump see it. So it's going to happen. In fact, let me get to the next scripture. Why? Because we're about to see the third woe. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Right, the second woe is past. That was World War II, and the third woe cometh quickly. Right, meaning World War III, death and destruction. All right, and so, hey, these military officials, they see the big wars coming, man. That's why they have a term now, James Mad Dog Mattis, power competition, all right? And who are the power competitions of today, right now? Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, all right? And North Korea, that peace treaty that's supposed to happen with Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, or I call him Pumpkinhead, all right, and Orange Man Donald Trump. That shit looks like it's not going to happen, all right? Because America's pride, they're out there in their military drills over there in Asia, all right, with South Korea, the South Korean country, doing their military drills. And North Korea's like, hey, what are you doing? I thought we were going to have a peace treaty. Why are you doing military drills, okay, in my backyard? So that's the times we're living in, all right? The seasons. The season of war, the season of hate, the season to kill, the season of breakdown. That's the times, all right? It goes on, it says, and these factors together, and it begs the question, can an all-volunteer military force stand ready to answer the call? Hell fucking no. That's why the draft's coming, man. Will the demand prove greater than our resources? You're damn right. The demand's going to be needed greater more than ever, man. Because you're going to go against war with Russia and China, all right? You American peons, you're through, man. You ain't making it, man, all right? And that's why we tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, get your head out of your fucking ass, man. The so-called white man, all right, here in America, he sees his kingdom going down, and he's not going to let it go, okay, easily. He's going to go to war, okay? He's going to put up a fight to see this bitch go before he sees his lovely, precious America go down. And he's going to use you as pawns. So don't you join the military, all right? Don't do it. If a draft comes in, you see your number, all right? Just go, just take that, go to prison, man, all right? And that leads me to this scripture, Psalms 49:11, because Esau doesn't want to give up his power, man. And so that's why a war is going to happen, all right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Right. Their inward thought is, the key point is, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. Right. So they want to keep continuing this U.S., okay, global empire. All right. They don't want to lose it. They want to, okay, continue living in power. So you think they're going to just give it off willingly? Hell no. That's going to go down with war. It's going to go down with killing. All right. Because the pride of Esau, man, has deceived them, man. All right. In fact, let me go. This wasn't part of the what I wrote down in the scriptures, but hey, it brings a point right here. Because at the end of the day, man, it's all about the Bible. The Bible is real. All right. And by going through these current events, we're just showing our people, hey, man, you got to return to the Lord if you want to get out of what's coming, man. All right. War's coming. They're going to put in a draft. You're not going to be able to get out of it. All right. So to return to Yahweh Shem Shai so he can cover you. All right. And hey, and some of us, all right, that are living here in America, hey, if they call your number through your Social Security, don't go. Just say, hey, I go to prison. All right. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Right. That's talking about the so-called white man. All right. He's not right, man. Okay. He thinks on a carnal level. Okay. He saw how he got, okay, all his riches and glory through warfare. And he's like, no, I want to keep this, man. All right? I ain't going to just give it up easily. All right? So you think he's going to write peace treaties with all these other nations? And, hey, we're not going to go to war. All right? You think Donald Trump is just going to tell Russia and China and North Korea and Iran, hey, we're not going to go to war. It's cool. Hey, let's sign peace treaties. All right? Let's all be equal. All right, let's all join hands together. Let's have a rainbow coalition. Hell fucking no, man. All right? That's why these devils, man, they have war in their heart, man. All right? Esau's blessing was the sword. Okay? You got to understand the mentality, the psychological aspect of the so-called white man, all right? He's a man he loves war, man, all right? And the Lord put the spirit on him to be like that, all right? If you can receive, you can receive it, all right? Let me continue on. But the just shall live by his faith. Right, the just shall live by his faith. And we living by faith through these scriptures, man. And hey, when they do put in the draft, because it's coming, we ain't gonna go, all right? We'll just be like, hell no. Hell with that. I ain't fighting your endless wars. All right? I'm not ignorant to Satan's devices, all right? I know what the hell's going on. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man. Right, the so-called white man is a proud man. That's why he's out here, okay, in all these other countries, causing conflicts and turmoils, all right, and unrest. All right, neither keepeth at home. Right, that's the point. Neither keepeth at home. He doesn't keep at home. He's out here. But let me finish this off. Neither keepeth at home, all right, who enlarges desire as hell, and is as death. Right, the so-called white man is death, man. All right. And he enlarges desire as hell, man. So everywhere he goes, he brings nothing but affliction, pain, and sorrow. Look at the condition of the world because of the so-called white man. All right, who are the biblical Edomites. And you think he wants to give up his power? He loves this shit. He loves seeing death. He loves this shit, man. All right. And cannot be satisfied. Right, this so-called white man cannot be satisfied. He done, through colonialism, he done conquered the whole world. All right, he named everything. All right, he built up America as a superpower. And yet he still is not satisfied, man. All right, he still is going to go to war to keep his power and to push his agenda. All right. That's why, once again, we always like to bring out, he's going to want to chip people with the RFID chip, all right? All right? Because he cannot be satisfied, all right? He wants your soul now, all right? That's another thing, man. We had Great Mill, so we got to keep pushing out, man. The RFID chip, that's coming, man. That's around the corner, man. All right? And that's why that draft is, and that's going to coincide with that draft, all right? You got to get chipped too, all right? So we can make sure we keep a track of you, all right? So when you go out into these wars, all right, to fight in the name of freedom, quote unquote, all right, we'll know where you're at. but gather unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Right, man. That's what the so-called white man's doing. So now, this article right here is beautiful. This is from military.com. I'll continue on because it shows that this so-called white man cannot keep at home. All right, he cannot be satisfied. Look at this. It goes on and says, not much in the barn if something breaks. So this is from I'll just read it. Quote, if there's a bullet flying anywhere on the planet, Marines want to be there. However, if something big breaks, there ain't a lot in the barn, said Lieutenant General Robert Hedlund, commanding general of the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force. Hedlund was speaking at the 2007 Expeditionary Warfare Conference in Annapolis, Maryland, about Marine Corps readiness. Hedlund, along with other high-ranking military officials and veterans, has warned that our military is at a critical crossroad and might be hard-pressed to meet the global demands of numerous ongoing missions as we face low recruitment and retention rates. You see? So they're saying, hey, man, we don't have enough manpower to continue in these wars that we're in and all these missions that we're in. All right? So that's why we got to reinstate the draft. You see? But here's the point. Not enough in the barn, indeed. According to a map published by the Cost of War Project at Brown University. Right? These are universities. These are institutions, all right, who take the time and the study, all right, and come up with these numbers, man. The Cost of War Project at Brown University Watson Institute for International Public Affairs, the United States is waging the war on terror in 76 countries. 76 countries. He is a proud man. He cannot keep at home. He is not satisfied. He's heaping to himself all nation. If this is not the so-called white man, the biblical Edomites, then who is, man? And this is not Babylon, America, the whore that sitteth upon all nations, then who is, man? You pseudo-Hebrew Israelites, man, you got a lot coming to you, man. Israel United in Christ, ISUPK, all right? Tried and refined Chicago retards, man, all right? America is Babylon, man, all right? You maggots are you're nowhere near, okay, in the terms of knowledge and understanding of these scriptures like we here at Great Millstone, all right? So just shut the fuck up and let the true man of the Lord teach this word, man, to our people, man, all right? Fucking sick and tired of you pseudo-Hebrew Israelites, all right? And then you conscious, too. Maggots like pro-light, no light. Shut the fuck up, man. We in a time of killing and hate, all right? They're gonna implement a draft, all right? Why aren't you warning your people of that? You stupid motherfuckers. However, this figure, let me go on, Slovakia. This shit gets me irate because, man, they are out here telling you what's about to happen, man. Let me get another scripture, all right? This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right, man. We are not ignorant of his devices, all right? We see what's going on. We are the prophets of Yahweh Bashim Awashai, man, all right? And we're out here warning our people, man. You better return to the Lord, all right? Or you're going to go fight in these wars, these endless wars. You're going to die out there, okay? Because the so-called white man, all right, he's the devil the Bible speaks of, all right? And he wants to keep his power. He knows his time is short, man. That's why he's trying to do whatever he can to keep it, whatever. He's trying to salvage whatever left of this piece of shit nation, man. Let's continue on. But what would it take to reinstate a military draft? Quote, some kind of mass mobilization, a war on Korean Peninsula, like you saw on that news segment, or more conventional confrontation with Russia and China, which you're seeing now, all right? You see, there's been numerous articles, Slovakia, there's been numerous articles, all right, where Russia has been testing their nuclear missiles. China's been testing nuclear missiles, all right? They're testing hypersonic missiles that can defeat America, man, all right? And even your Secretary of Defense, James Mad Dog Mattis, said, yeah, our nukes cannot prevent Russian nukes for hitting our city, our ports, and our cities, all right? They weren't designed for that, all right? So you even having the Secretary of Defense telling you that, yeah, when nukes fly over here, we can't stop it. We can't stop it. So, hey, man, they see the coming war. So that's why they trying to build, they got to put this draft in, man. They got to put this draft in, all right, to get the numbers, to get ready for the Third World War, all right? Latch is author of Skin in the Game and founder and executive director of the All-Volunteer Force Forum, which contends that our current all-volunteer military is unfair, inefficient, unsustainable, and contributes to civil-military gap and the militarization of U.S. foreign policy. Right, man. Why are they saying unfair? Well, now let me go to another article, all right? This is from the Council on Foreign Relations, the CFR, all right? How representative is the all-volunteer U.S. military. How representative is the all-volunteer U.S. military, right? And when they're saying representative, all right, okay, is it equal? Is it fair? Or is everybody pulling their own weight? Listen to this. The United States military has relied on all-volunteer force for nearly 4 decades. This model, largely successful, has drawn from a population of informed, qualified, and service-oriented men and women, yet is under stress. The combination of a shrinking pool of qualified youth, a military in which some important segments of society are underrepresented, all right, so that's the term they want to use, unrepresented. No, all right, those that are underrepresented are the ones that are not stupid, all right. They're like, yo, I ain't fucking joining no military, all right, but they like to say underrepresented. All right, which is bullshit, right? They like to use those nice terms, all right? You got to understand how the so-called white man operates. He uses semantics. He uses nice words like that to get you thinking, okay, in a certain mind frame. But if you look at the agenda, all right, when he says unrepresented, all right, he's talking about there are certain people in America that are not volunteering for the military, all right? So we got to implement a draft. And others are overrepresentative. Right, who's the overrepresentative that they're talking about, okay? And a growing civilian-military divide is renewing debate about public service and the viability of all-volunteer model. To counter these trends, advocates have proposed steps such as bringing back the draft and establishing national service programs. Boom! That's 3 articles talking about reinstating the draft, man. All right? Yet you got pseudo-Hebrew Israelites talking about we're going to build a nation, and a nation who's thinking about bringing in a draft is United in Christ, ISUPK, and all those other pseudo-Hebrew Israelites that are a bunch of fucking useless, okay, maggots, man. You're useless, man. You're a disgrace to the nation of Israel. You're not out here warning, man. Look at this, man. 3 sources talking about reinstating a draft. It goes on and says, to counter these trends, and advocates have proposed steps such as bringing back the draft and establishing national service programs. They also urge conversation about the cost of war, the unfairness of all volunteer force, and concerns about the rise of a warrior caste. Although these suggestions have merits, the best place to start could be a better understanding of who is serving to ensure that the all-volunteer model remains viable. As the accompanying feature, demographics of the U.S. military. Right. This is another article that the Council of Foreign Relations wrote, the demographics. And who was volunteering? Women. It'll say it right here. Attest those few who are serving. 0.4% of U.S. population is in active duty. All right, so that's less than 1%. Are overwhelmingly high-quality recruits. They have high school degrees and scored about above the 50th percentile on the Armed Forces Qualification Test. Most come from middle-class families, right? And who's the middle-class family? Caucasians, all right? Because you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, man, majority are not middle-class, man. You are poor, all right? You are in poverty, all right? Because we're under the curses. Most come from middle-class families and have options beyond joining the military. The cohort is young and diverse and includes more women than in previous years. Right. So it's middle-class families, which make up Caucasians, mainly male, and women that are joining the military. So the elites, the military establishments of America, they see this. They're like, wait a minute, only Caucasian men, all right, of the middle class family are joining. And why are they joining? Because they went to college and realized they ain't finding a job. They're in so much debt. So like, fuck it, I got to join the military to pay off these debts, all right? The women, same thing. They went to college, they can't find fucking work. So they're like, fuck it, I got to join the military. Or they look at military as benefits, those little goodies, all right? You gotta see how this shit is operating, all right? Yet the number of young Americans qualified to serve is small, just 17%, because of factors including medical conditions, right? Yeah. What are they medical conditions? A lot of these people, okay? A lot of these young Generation Y and Z's, all right? They're born with all types of elements and illnesses, all right? Because hey, you have a lot of the generation before, like the millennial generation, my generation, they're all on type of drugs. They're all on what's it called? Mentally fucked up, and that passes down to their children, all right? Diseases, all that shit. So that's why medical conditions, physical fitness, right? You have a lot of sloppy eating motherfucking McDonald's eaters, man. Fat, overweight Americans, all right? And so they see this, they're like, well, shit. Well, there's a lot of people on medical conditions. A lot of these young men and women have medical conditions, fitness problems. We're going to have to implement the draft, all right? Drug use, right? Generation Z, Generation Y, all right? Slovakia. I'm about to, hold on. I thought I was about to sneeze, all right? They on Molly's, perks, heroin, all right? Hey, there's been videos where you see in San Francisco, all right, and the train station, there's like, it looks like a zombie apocalypse. There's just people just laying around on drugs, just drugged out. Poor conduct, right? Criminals, man. Drug dealers, get it how you live, all right? Violence, okay? Dependence and aptitude, all right? Aptitude meaning, I'm not really thinking about joining the military. I'd rather just ride it out and just be on this side, which that's a good idea. If you have any common sense, you shouldn't be joining the military because look at these wars, all right? Who's the aggressor in these wars over the past 50 years? Who's the aggressor? The United States, whole ass, okay, army. That's it, military. The United States of America, the whore that sits upon many waters, all right? So that's what you're seeing. Moreover, some groups are increasingly underrepresented, such as Northeasterners. Wow, Northeasterners are underrepresented, right? Because the Northeasterners are going to college, they got jobs or whatever, right? Because there's more jobs in the Northeastern place of America, all right? Because there's not many jobs around. And in the officer ranks, Slovakia, not underrepresented. Moreover, some groups are increasingly underrepresented, such as Northeasterners, and in the officer ranks, all right, African American men, right? African American men, because Southern Kingdom is the one really waking up to the bullshit. They're like, man, I ain't joining these wars, all right? Mainly Judah, they see, all right, and Judah been waking up to the bullshit, all right? They saw what happened, Jim Crow laws, all right? But you Northern Kingdom, you Hispanics and Native Americans, man, you be joining Esau's military in a heartbeat. But that's why majority are going to die in these wars, all right? Recruits increasingly come from military families. This is at a time when the number of young Americans who personally know someone in the military is decreasing. These trends not only jeopardize the quality and diversity of the all-volunteer force, but also widen the civilian-military divide in the country. Right, man? That's what you're seeing. You're seeing, okay, a huge divide because more people are waking up, man. So now let's get back to the scriptures. All right, that's why a draft's going to be coming in. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. Salakia. Had it. 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 34. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Right, man? A lot of men are going to die in these last days, all right? A lot of men, all right? And they ain't going to have no, you women are not going to have no bridegrooms, all right? Because the draft's coming, all right? A draft's coming, and they're going to draft a lot of men. And they're trying to even bring about women, but we'll see, because the scripture says women shall mourn not having any husbands, all right? So that's what the Bible says. So they'll probably, and that makes sense, because when these wars get hot and heavy, women are not going to be able to function right. So they're just going to be like, we're drafting men, all right? But yeah, that's what you're coming, all right? That's what's coming. In the war shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Right, famine's coming, man, all right? You're going to see all hell break loose here in America, man, because the economy's going to collapse, all right? And so it's going to be total chaos out here, man. That's why we're giving y'all fair warning. Let me go to another article, because this is already, they're starting certain things, implementing a draft in certain areas, all right? This is from the Register. It says, U.S. malls drafting gray-haired hackers during time of crisis. Shortage of tech talent has government pondering end-to-age gender restrictions. Look at that, end-to-age and gender restrictions. So, hey, man, no matter how old you are, all right, if the government needs you, they look at your competency, they look at your knowledge on certain sectors of what they need, you're going to get put into a draft, and they're going to pull you, and you're going to fight in these wars. So this is one of them, hacking, okay? The U.S. Government Commission has asked the public for its thoughts on possible changes to the military selective sources rules to allow the conscription of technical talent, including those with computer-oriented skills, regardless of sex and age, right? So yeah, if they seem that you're competent and you're knowledgeable on computer skills, you're going to get drafted. This is what they're talking about. The National Commission on Military National Public Service, in accordance with the Congress in 2017 National Defense Authorization Act, right? The NDAA. So the NDAA in 2017 put it in the National Commission on Military, National, and Public Service, okay? And what does it do? Been directed to consider how to encourage more people to participate in military and public service in order to assure national security. At the behest of Congress, the Commission has been directed to solicit public input on possible rule changes. The Commission did so in February through a notice published to the Federal Registry, the official record of U.S. government actions. Among the various aspects of the U.S. Selective Service system being re-evaluated is whether it might make sense to change the process to ensure that individuals with technical skills needed for national defense, medical, language, cyber, and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics skills are to be required to register for a possible draft without regard to age or sex. You see that? So it don't matter, okay, if you have all this wisdom and knowledge in America, okay? Whether you went to college and university for engineering, mathematics, all right, computer science. If the government needs you to fight in the Third World War, they're going to need you. A draft is coming, all right? You can't get out of it, all right? This is plain, man. The U.S. Selective Service presently requires men ages 18 to 25 to register, right? And then they're also talking about trying to get women, all right? So we here, man, all right? And that's why you're seeing more and more just the inevitable coming. So now, this is going to be a line in the sand, because when they implement that draft, hey, man, if you're a man of the Lord, if you believe you're a man of the Lord, especially you pseudo-Hebrew Israelites, all right, what you going to do, all right, when they implement that draft, all right? Are you going to, all right, stand for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right? Or are you going to fold and be like, I guess I'm going to go fight in this Third World War because I don't want to go to prison, all right? 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 21. Ye cannot drink the cup of the Lord and drink of devils. You cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the table of the devils, right? And the reason why I brought that out is because there's going to be a line in the sand drawn, all right? And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, whether, okay, you woke up to that you're a Hebrew Israelite, okay, or you're still in the world, hey, man, a line's going to be drawn in the sand, all right? And you're going to have to choose, man, okay? Are you going to be partake in this cup, man? Are you going to serve, okay, in the devil's army and fight in this third world war? Or are you going to stand for something and say, you know what? Nah, I'm coming back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all right? I'm following his laws, statutes, commandments, and I ain't joining this military. To hell with that, all right? Put me in jail, because that's what's going to come, man, all right? And this is where we're going to be tested, man. We're all going to be tested on all different levels, man, all right? We're living in the last days, man. Don't you see what's going on? Let me go on to the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer, right, man? We're going to suffer, man, all right? When this draft come on, a lot of us are going to be persecuted, saying that, oh, they're terrorists, they don't want to join in America's military, all right? Hey, send them to jail, so on and so forth, all right? But you can't do it, man. Don't do it. If you're so-called Negro, Latino, American, man, stand for something. Don't join this military, man. When the draft comes in, just say the hell with it. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, right? And that's where we here at Great Millstone, we always bring out, man. All right, we're going to be tried, man, but be faithful unto death, man, all right? And the Lord's going to give us a crown of life. Because guess what, man? This place is going down, man, all right? And then when they implement that draft, that's going to cause all types of hell, man, all right? And it's going to, and we hear the prophets, we're looking forward to it, man, because we know that's going to usher in the kingdom of heaven, okay? Continuing on, verse 11. And he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt of the second death. Right, and what's that second death? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. Because if you decide to go and fight in this white man's army, all right, you got a nuke with your name on it. It's plain. Wherever you got a nuke with your name on it. And that's talking to our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? Don't join this military. If you're in the military, get out. Go AWOL. I always say that. Just get out, all right? We're not living in time to be thinking about 5-10-year plans in America when you have military officials and officers talk about reinstating the draft, all right? Get out. Get out. We're not, yeah, man, all right? Next, there's the book of Sirach, all right? And this is why I'm bringing this out too, man. Maybe this might click in your head why you shouldn't be partake in this white man's army, this so-called white man's army, the biblical Edomites. There's the book of Sirach. Salakia. I didn't think it was going to be this long, but hey, man, when the Spirit be on you, it be on you. This is Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. This is through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right. Because of America's, okay, wicked acts on this earth, stealing, robbing, killing, riches got by deceit, okay? Unrighteous dealings, all right? Because of all that, all right, that's why America's going down, all right? Because we're living in a season time where America has to be judged for all its wickedness and atrocity. Let's start out how this country was created. Was this country created by fairness, by equality, okay? Everybody was equal? No. This country was incepted by rape, robbery, murder, stealing land, having slaves, okay? Hurting the children of Israel, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American man and woman, okay? Those are, okay, hurting them, all right? Up until today, okay? Because America is doing the same shit it's been doing since its inception. Going out into the world, stealing, robbing, and killing, all right? Heaping on self riches, okay? Because this is a proud man. He can't keep at home. His desires is hell, all right? He is not satisfied, all right? So that's why the kingdom's going to be translated to another people, because America has to pay for everything it's doing, even up to this point. And that leads me to another news article, because, yo, what America is doing now is the reason why, hey, man, America, you're going down, down, down. The Lord's going to make sure you don't win. Even if you put in a draft, you're still going down, all right? This is from Sputnik News, man, all right? Snowden, this is Edward Snowden, all right? He tweeted something about the new director of the CIA. Bloody Gina's tortures involved beating pregnant woman, raping man. This is what the so-called white man does in America, all right? And this is what they're doing. They're gonna put this wicked ass woman, okay, the so-called white woman, all right, as the CIA director who beats pregnant women and rapes and has men raped. Listen to this shit. Gina Haspel's nomination as CIA director was met with strong opposition among U.S. lawmakers as she was suspected of having been involved in the agency's use of extreme interrogation methods. The world's most wanted whistleblower, Edward Snowden, took to Twitter to claim that the newly appointed CIA director had participated in a cruel torture program, as well as ordered the destruction of video evidence. Right, this is why the so-called white man gotta go, man. That's why America, you're not winning. You're losing in this last war, all right? Because you wicked as fuck, man. Unrighteous, okay, dealings, injuries, man. No. This is what Edward Snowden tweeted. Listen to this. Gina Haspel participated in a torture program that involved beating an innocent pregnant woman's stomach. This is the devil you're thinking of. This is the devil you so-called Negroes, Latino Americans, all right, want to want to be a part of and subjugate yourself to, all right? This is the shit that this CIA does with this bitch, man. Anally raping a man with meals he tried to refuse. What the fuck? Yo, man, this so-called white man is death, man. His soul that's upright in him is not right, man. I mean, like, I'm not gonna damage this. Let me go back to that scripture. Yo, this Salakia. Let me get back to Habakkuk. All right, this shit is insane, man. This so-called white man is a fucking demon, man. This white woman is a demon. For Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. Right. This so-called white man is perverse. He is twisted, man. All right. And so his counterpart as woman is the same thing, man. Shoving food in some man's rectum. All right. Because he didn't want to speak or whatever. Like, this is insanity. He tried to go up because he tried to refuse food. And freezing a shackled prisoner until he died. She personally wrote the order to destroy 92 tapes of CIA torture. This is what you have, man. So-called white man is the harbinger of death. The harbinger of death, man. This white woman is wicked, man. This shit is insane. This is why you got to get the fuck up out. If you're so-called Negro, Latino, and American, you need to get the fuck up out the military, man. This shit is, don't fight in the white man's army, man. Because this is why they're going to get destroyed, man. Because of the shit they're doing behind closed doors. All right? But then you look at Great Millstone, you look at us as the bad guy. When this is documented evidence that they do this shit. All right? Let's get the last scripture, man, to close out. All right? Salaki went off, but hey, it's got to be said. Daniel chapter 2, verse 21. And he changed the times and the season. Right, man. We in a time and season where the Lord about to break America down for the wickedness. It's wicked acts, man. All right? It's unrighteous dealings, man. It's injuries, man. This place is wicked as fuck. So this is the time and season, because the Lord's changing all this, man. He removeth kings and set up kings. Right, he's about to remove the kingdom of you Edomites, man. Your kingdom is going down. You're not saving America, man. America's going down. So no matter you put in the draft, you're going down. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understand. Right, that's here. The prophets of Great Millstone. All right? That's here at Great Millstone, man. We understand, man, through the spirit power of Yahweh Shemel Shai that, hey, man, this devil's is going down, man, and he's doing whatever he can to try to prevent this, but he can't. The Lord is bringing this shit down. All right? Verse 22. He revealed the deep and secret thing. He knoweth what is in the darkness and the light that dwelt with him. Right. And these are the revealings, man. The Lord shows his prophets, hey, do you see what's going on? Yup. Hey, do videos on this, right? Warn my people. All right. And if they don't want to hear, hey, as long as you got the blood off your hands. All right. That's according to Ezekiel chapter 3. Okay. And also Ezekiel chapter 33. All right. So with that, Lord willing, that was edifying. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah, Kodash, Barakatah. Double honors to the apostle of Great Millstone. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and making their body a living sacrifice for Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai. As you can see with these news articles, hey, they're about to implement the draft. So brothers, be diligent, all right? Pray, fast, okay? And Lord willing, man, we endure through this to the end, man, and we need Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai more than ever, because this what's coming, man. All right, we gotta stand firm for this, what we believe in. All right, and with that, Shalom.